Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180. I am here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We are at the Fast Start Forum with Tom Wall, and there's been a lot of things that have been brought to my attention recently. A couple days ago, Tom Wall actually did an event or a debate with David McKnight talking about index universal life versus whole life insurance. And I just kind of wanted to set the stage on this a little bit because I know that there's been some beef between me and David. I know that I guess let me break it down like this. I was never going to go after David McKnight at all. On the scale of IUL agents, which I obviously have my very strong opinions on this, I think David is probably one of the better agents because of his perspectives on how he does things. That said, I have my beliefs and my very strong opinions on how IUL works, and I think those opinions are based in fact, and it is what it is. David decided, for whatever reason, to do a video portraying me as basically some illicit insurance guy that did nefarious things. And that video got a lot of traction. And when I saw it, I decided, like, all right, if somebody's gonna swing at me, I'm gonna swing back. And I know that I've got this reputation for being a pretty hardcore anti-IUL guy, but I wanna make it really, really clear. I'm not against IUL as a product. I'm against IUL being misrepresented. And I think that the way that I've responded, and yes, I understand sometimes when I kind of come back hard, and it is what it is. But I also don't think people should have the ability and right to say, I'm gonna throw the first punch and then run and hide and act like they just wanna take the high ground on conversations, and they want it to be cordial conversations when things are done this way. So here's kind of where I'm at this point in time. I would love to have a conversation live with David McKnight. I'm going to say Doug Andrew. I'm going to say pretty much anybody that has a platform of influence where you're out there connecting and communicating and sharing and influencing and being a thought leader in the IUL space. I think we have, even though we're on different sides of the aisle, we have completely different perspectives, and we have different beliefs in how to utilize life insurance as an asset as a whole. I think we have a responsibility as influencers and thought leaders in this space to come together and to have an open dialogue. Because I feel like this information needs to be shared with people. And what I don't understand is the idea of saying, I don't want to have this conversation because there's nothing in it for me. I do this business because I'm trying to serve people. I do this business because I believe in what it can do for people. I know what it's done for my life. I know what the philosophies and strategies and concepts have done to impact my life. And all I want to do is share that with people. Now, I believe emphatically in what I do, how I do it, why I do it, all these things. And at the same time, on the other side of the spectrum, I do believe that there is danger, that there is misrepresentation, that people are getting hurt because of the misuse and miscategorization of index universal life insurance as an asset to kind of quote unquote help people reach their financial goals. And so I believe that we need to have an open dialogue. Anybody that's worried about debating me because they think I'm going to be hardcore, disrespectful, anything of that nature, I don't understand it. Like, anybody that's met me and knows me understands that I want nothing but to be respectful. I just want to take this conversation to the next level. I don't have to agree with you, and I'm not going to just cower at the same time. I'm going to ask critical questions, but I believe if you are a thought leader and you can defend your position, I'm looking at it as like, if you believe so much in what you do, having this conversation with me should be an opportunity for you to just solidify that position on a deeper level. Anybody that doesn't and isn't willing to get into that conversation, I just don't understand. So this is my call to action at this point in time. Doug Andrew, David McKnight, Curtis Ray, like any of these guys that are doing this, I encourage you to, like, let's actually have this conversation. Let's have a dialogue. Somebody can moderate it. I don't really care. If you don't feel safe, I don't get that, but If that's how you're feeling, well, then we can have a moderator. My thoughts behind this is I don't want it to be edited. I don't want it to be, I would prefer it to be live, but if it can't be live, I would say we have to sign something that says this video won't be edited, because I think raw, honesty, authentic, transparency needs to be a part of this conversation. The biggest problem that I see going on in the insurance space right now is there's too much marketing, there's too much sales, there's too much hype, and not enough deep dive education in how this stuff actually works in people's lives. This is the problem with social media, with TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff. I think there would be a ton of value by us coming together and having this open dialogue. And, you know, I guess I'm just hoping that somebody on the IUL side will get past the hype machine and be willing to come to the table and have an authentic, real conversation about how this actually works. So that's it. My real call to action on this, because of the way that it's all played out, is David McKnight. I would love for you to come forward, have a conversation with me, do this dialogue, do this debate, do this, I don't know, whether you want to call it a debate or a conversation or whatever. I know we're not going to agree. We have disagreements, and that's okay, but I think enough people have asked for it where we have a responsibility to have this conversation on a bigger level. So that's it. And I got to tell you, I'm not going to stop putting this content out there until this is done. I just am not, because I didn't start the fight, but I also believe that now that that this is going back and forth, we have a responsibility to complete the process and get the information out there on a public level.